Praise the Lord, everybody. Good morning, and good morning. Welcome back to another Good Morning Grief Devotion. It's your boy, Pastor Corey Allen Duncan Sr. Grateful and thankful for this day, this time, and this opportunity, and something in my eye. But we're going to get it out. It ain't going to halt us. It ain't going to hinder us. It ain't going to hold us up. Blink. Remember when something was in your eye when you was little and your mama used to go and blow your whole eyeball out? Welcome back to another Good Morning Grief Devotion. This is the daily grief devotion that is strategically designed to help you to navigate through your grief one day at a time. What is grief? I'm so glad you asked. Grief, my brothers and sisters, it is the natural, normal, necessary response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expression of feelings and emotions. Grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is how you reveal it on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it, but we express it. We don't ignore it, but we explore it. We don't conceal it, but we reveal it. We don't lock it up, but we let it out. That's why we shout good morning, because morning is indeed a good thing. And I am so grateful for each and every one of you joining us as we dive into our Good Morning Grief Devotion. Y'all know what we've been on all week. I hope this series has been a blessing to you. Grief and grace, grace and grief. How God's grace meets us in everyday moments. Today is the culmination. We have our last installment. It is day 221. We're going to have a little fun. We're going to talk about grace for the next step K. Grace for the next step K. See, I made a mistake. I didn't take off the K. The K. Grace for the next step, y'all. God is going to give us grace for the next step. Let's talk about it. Here it is. Your word is a lamp for my feet and a light on my path. One of the hardest questions after loss is, what do I do now? I always ask, where do we go from here, right? What do I do now? Where do we go from here? That is one of the hardest questions after loss that we ask ourselves. That grief can leave you standing in a life you didn't plan, facing a future you never, ever imagined. I didn't plan this life. I didn't want to face this type of future. This ain't what I had in mind, right? That you want God to show you the whole road, how everything is going to work out, when the pain will lessen, what life will look like next year. But often God doesn't give us the entire map. God, if you could just show me, what is this next 3 months about to look like, 6 months? What is the next year about? Matter of fact, just give me the expiration date. If you could give me the expiration date, I could prepare my heart for what's about to happen, what's going to happen. I could prepare myself and I could just rock it out to the end. Just give it to me, God. And the reality is, God doesn't give us the entire map. He gives us enough light for the step that we find ourselves on. He gives us enough light for the next step. That's the picture in Psalm 119. A lamp for your feet doesn't illuminate miles ahead, right? It gives you enough light to see your next step. It's a lamp unto my feet. I can't see down the street if it's a lamp unto my feet. I can't see into next week if it's a lamp unto my feet. All I can see is what? The step ahead. Sometimes that's how grace works. Grace for the next morning, grace for the next conversation, grace for the next decision, grace for the next holiday, grace for the next moment. When you have something to do, when you have to do something without the person you thought would be beside you, sometimes God just gives you grace for the next step, the next day, the next minute, the next moment, the next holiday, the next conversation. God gives you enough grace for the next, right? You don't have to figure out the rest of your life today. You only have to follow God into what's next. This is why even on the grief devotion, I tell you, this is the daily grief devotion that is strategically designed to do what? Help you to navigate through your grief. How? One day at a time. You get this daily bread. You get this grief devotion to help you today. Take something from today, help you apply it to today, right? It's just today, the next. You ain't got to figure it all out. You only have to follow God into what's next. Maybe your next step is getting out of bed. Maybe it's asking for help. Maybe it's returning to something you once enjoyed. Maybe it's making a decision you've been afraid to make. Maybe it's simply choosing to believe that life can still hold meaning. Whatever your next step is, I don't know what your next step is, but you know what it is. Whatever that next step is, God's grace is going to meet you there. I promise you. I promise you, if I'm lying, I'm flying. I'm still inside this chair. Whatever your next step is, God's grace is going to meet you right there. Looking back over this week, y'all, that's what we discovered about grief and grace, grace and grief. Grace doesn't always remove grief. Sometimes grace simply gives us what we need to keep walking through it. And when tomorrow comes, there will be grace waiting there too. I'm going to give you the point of application, that I'm going to give you a final series thought. Don't try to figure out the whole journey today, y'all. Just ask God, what's my next step? Trust his grace enough to take it. Don't figure out the whole journey. What am I going to do next? Nah, just take the next step. Just take the next step. Take the next step. Take the next step. Trust his grace enough to take it. Grief reminds us of what we lost, y'all. Grace reminds us of what we still have. We still have God. We got grace for today, grace for the questions, grace for ordinary days, grace for unexpected tears, grace when we're lonely, grace when we're weak, grace for whatever comes next. See how we wrapped up the whole week right there? You don't need grace for the entire journey all at once. You just need enough grace for the next step. God promises his grace will be there when you take it. Thank y'all for joining us this week. Great grief and grace. Grace and grief. How God's grace meets us in everyday moments. I hope and pray. I hope and pray in some type of way you have been blessed today and this entire week as we have navigated through grace and grief on our grief journey. You know, every Monday we kick off a new series. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to what we are going to do. So y'all stay tuned. And I'm going to see y'all tomorrow, same time, same place, for another Good Morning Grief Devotion. Good morning.